Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
The Type 9. Change the way you wash your hair forever.
G'day, Commanders. When the munchies take a hold and the Starscape Vista appears before you, what better time? Here is Space and Biscuits by 12 Strings Inc., available on SoundCloud and presented to you via Lave Radio. Commander Strings out.
Galnet News Digest, 24th of August 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we look back at the history of federal presidential candidate Zachary Rackham. Criminals should not be allowed to run for federal office, according to Federal Times star reporter Brianna Blanco. And she claims to have the receipts to prove that Zachary Rackham is unfit to become president.
Now that he's standing for president, Rackham's affairs are subject to even more scrutiny than normal, and it's Brianna Blanco who has been leading the charge. In her article on Tuesday, she claims that Rackham has a criminal past and that his election to be leader of the Free Galaxy could severely damage. Supporters have in turn accused Blanco of leading a witch hunt, and there's at least some justification for this. Everything Rackham has done for the last 5 years has been accompanied by critical commentaries from the financial pages of the Federal Times.
Rackham first came to attention 5 years ago in June 3304 as an accomplice of the infamous Don Antonacci. Colonia had been constructed around the misjumped Jacques station, and the Colonia expansion initiative had led to numerous factions establishing a presence. However, none of them had a shipyard. And this was before fleet carriers, so none of the Colonia bases could sensibly be used as an actual base. It was Zachary Rackham, at the time a billionaire, who stepped in to provide a free shipyard at each of the Colonia bases, and it was Brianna Blanco who pointed out that this was almost certainly a dodge to hide the assets of Rackham Capital Investments from the auditors.
A couple of months later, Rackham mysteriously won 1 billion credits in the Federal Grand Lottery. Could this have been a ruse to launder the proceeds of crime, or had Rackham somehow fixed the outcome of the lottery to ensure he won? His company sponsored the creation of the Herculean Machines Duradrive, which can be bought at Cowper Dock in the Anima system. Rackham had become a big success in the Federation, but he repeatedly harked back to his humble origins as a trader in a second-hand sidewinder. The truth, according to journalist Brianna Blanco, was rather different. Rackham was, she said, the self-same person as notorious pirate Calico Zack, the pirate lord from outside the Federation who raided freighters and liners, and who was successful to the point that Pirate King Archon Delane began to see him as a rival. Rackham laundered the wealth he had pirated to set himself up as a businessman, and a very successful one at that. He established Rackham's Peak far above the galactic plane as a billionaire's paradise. Mixing with the cream of society, he gambled in exclusive clubs, and he may or may not have taken Onion Head recreationally. He owned Picasso's Guernica, having bought it from the infamous thief, the Winking Cat.
In 3305, Rackham managed to use Blanco and the Federal Times to his advantage. A series of assassinations of key personnel of Rackham Capital Investments had been staged by a rival ex-pirate who wanted to seize control of the corporation. Blanco had been investigating the goings-on at the corporation, and when what appeared to be federal agents came to the Federal Times asking for help in their investigation, Blanco shared with them all the information she had. But they were not government officials at all. They were imposters employed by Rackham to find out who was behind the takeover attempt. With the rebellion quashed, Rackham very kindly donated a large sum to the Federal Times in appreciation of their ethical journalism. In April 3308, Rackham, now promoted to trillionaire, began to strenuously deny that he was thinking of running to succeed Hudson as federal president. He moved to Beta Hydri, a solidly federal system, and began to claim that he'd been born there. Blanco pointed out that Rackham had failed to produce any citizenship documents. Rackham took over local industries and corporations, built a huge skyscraper, and took over Kavanagh Space Frames, the corporation behind the Orbis starport, renaming it as Rackham Space Frames.
In May 3308, a year before the presidential election was due, Rackham announced he would be a candidate, but it wasn't until February 3309 that he eventually launched his manifesto, a populist, low-tax, high-spending ticket encouraging the electorate to believe that they could all be as successful as Rackham. With the "Just Like Me" slogan, he achieved funding from his society contacts and secured an ex-Republican congressman, Harlan Turk, as his running mate. In the presidential debates, Rackham promised zero taxes for all except criminals, but he has entirely failed to explain where the funding for federal government will come from. His claim that he will make every single federal citizen rich and successful takes some beating as a campaign pledge.
All this time, Brianna Blanco has been pursuing Rackham, trying to expose his non-federal pirate origins. Rackham, who makes donations to many worthy federal charities and who's a member of the Federal Intelligence Agency Oversight Board, has never had to worry about the authorities taking an interest in his affairs, and it seems unlikely that the Federal Times will be able to change this. Seoul Today has backed Rackham and has called for the Federal Times to be sued for libel.
With the federal election postponed until the end of the year, we'll need to wait a little longer to see whether the alleged Calico Zach Rackham will become the next federal president, in spite of Brianna Blanco's 5 long years of work to discredit him.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When the horn sounds, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman.
Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
Attention, attention. Lave Station infomercial. We interrupt your broadcast to bring you essential system information regarding the planet Lave. Form feedback from Karash. Hey guys, my sis wants you to do fake weather reports of what the forecast is like for Lave next week.
Answer. Planet-wide weather data is difficult to collate. However, we have enclosed the forecast for Ashuria over the coming week.
Tomorrow morning will be cloudy, with a chance of rain. Temperatures range from 12 to 17 degrees Celsius, or 285 to 290 Kelvin. Citizens are reminded to wear filter devices where possible to minimize exposure. The afternoon will turn colder, but visor recommendations remain in place. Rain is expected this evening with elevated levels of hydrogen.
Previously on the Dex Legacy. In the wake of the Rome missile disaster, the devastated and guilty Zenosi government claimed ignorance about the nature of the explosive they bought and subsequently launched. Accusatory fingers pointed across the globe, and Nathaniel Dex, the controversial weapons manufacturer and self-proclaimed state leader, refused to shoulder the blame. In the meantime, Nathaniel's spy master, Tristan Crail, carried out a test on an even more devastating trio of Dex weapons. While on their first deployment in Dominar, Nathaniel's adopted children, Varian, Isra, and Ren, were all captured by the enemy. Not knowing how any of them performed during their interrogations, Tristan disguised his agents as enemy soldiers, kidnapped all three, and subjected them to torture in a controlled environment, testing their fortitude and loyalty to the Dex state. None of the children broke, but many lines were crossed. In an effort to distract them from any justified feelings of rage and rebellion, Nathaniel ordered Devik to proceed with his next round of treatments, dulling the days of torture with yet more sickness and pain in the interests of furthering and stabilizing their excessively enhanced bodies.
Episode 5 of The Dex Legacy, Fair Treatment, starring Chris Gregory, Warren Graham, Annika Cordes, Louis Watson, Kamara Elliott, Kelsey Griffin, Charlie Richards, Raki Sharma, Stevie Skinner, Danielle Ellett, John Baverton, and Emily Inkpen, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud.
President Dex, you have an urgent message from the International Confederation.
Really? How interesting. Read.
To President Nathaniel Dex of Dex Island. You are summoned to the International Confederation of World Leaders to settle the matter of responsibility for the Rhone missile disaster. You will be allowed to present evidence outlining your involvement, and you may defend yourself against the charges levied against you by the new Zenosi government, namely, that you willingly and in full knowledge of your actions did not communicate the power of the warhead sold, that you used Zenosi land to carry out an illegal weapons test on a populated area, that you are responsible for the deaths of over 3 million Zenosi citizens, final count ongoing, that you...
Otto, show me a list of those attending. Of course, no representative from the last Zenosi government will be in attendance to share the blame. I should have known.
Do you need information?
Always, Tristan. How long have you been there?
Long enough to have heard the message.
They have nothing on me, especially as everyone in attendance except the new Zenosi government put in orders for Rhone missiles within a week of the event.
What do they hope to achieve?
It's a circus. They should be offering me a seat at the table at this point, not dragging me into a trial.
A seat at the table?
Yes. The International Confederation is made up of the leaders of every nation.
I didn't realise not being on it bothered you so much.
It's a matter of principle. They still consider Dex Island to be a company and not a country.
If Dex Island's just a company, what nation do we belong to?
They haven't been able to work that out yet. You'd think they'd all be trying to claim us. The back payment in taxes alone would exceed most gross national products.
Well, I doubt they'll be trying now. If any country claims Dex Island at this point, they'll also have to deal with the fallout of the Rome missile disaster.
No. No one will touch us now. Of course, since they all started invading one another, the number of International Confederation members has decreased to 10. It's an elite group.
Indeed.
Devik, Osa,
Nathaniel, I know you are happy to take payments from North Jakra in gold and stones, but the amount of it arriving on our airfield, where are we going to keep it all?
I have vaults under the palace where it will be quite safe. It's been 15 years since North Jakra invaded Chakri, and they've finally found a use for what they found there. Perhaps the Heaven 1 airship you're building me will have solid gold wiring, Osa. You always said gold was the highest quality conductor.
Gozin is the highest quality conductor, Nathaniel, but there's so little of it we cannot begin to think about using it on a larger scale. As for gold, if you wanted to use all of the gold on one airship, I'd be happy to. They're big, Nathaniel.
I thought you said this one would be smaller than Angel City.
Not that much smaller. They still need to carry thousands of soldiers, plus crew, plus a swarm of light fighters. I don't think all the gold in Chakri could wire the Heaven 1.
Well, we'll have to find a use for it.
Activating map.
They're fortifying their border with South Jakra. That's interesting.
How so?
It means people won't be able to cross the border easily except at controlled checkpoints. It's what countries do when they want tighter control over their populations.
I do not care what they do with their people. They've paid us, so we are giving them what they want. We will need to increase our manufacturing capacity, Nathaniel. This is our largest defense network commission yet.
Oza, you're forgetting the automated missile defense system we built for Nadris.
That was big on innovation, Devek. This
Previously on the Dex Legacy. In the wake of the Rhone missile disaster, the devastated and guilty Zenosi government claimed ignorance about the nature of the explosive they bought and subsequently launched. Accusatory fingers pointed across the globe, and Nathaniel Dex, the controversial weapons manufacturer and self-proclaimed state leader, refused to shoulder the blame. In the meantime, Nathaniel's spy master, Tristan Crail, carried out a test on an even more devastating trio of Dex weapons. While on their first deployment in Dominar, Nathaniel's adopted children, Varian, Isra, and Ren, were all captured by the enemy. Not knowing how any of them performed during their interrogations, Tristan disguised his agents as enemy soldiers, kidnapped all three, and subjected them to torture in a controlled environment, testing their fortitude and loyalty to the Dex state. None of the children broke, but many lines were crossed. In an effort to distract them from any justified feelings of rage and rebellion, Nathaniel ordered Devik to proceed with his next round of treatments, dulling the days of torture with yet more sickness and pain in the interests of furthering and stabilizing their excessively enhanced bodies.
Episode 5 of The Dex Legacy, Fair Treatment, starring Chris Gregory, Warren Graham, Annika Cordes, Louis Watson, Kamara Elliott, Kelsey Griffin, Charlie Richards, Raki Sharma, Stevie Skinner, Danielle Ellett, John Baverton, and Emily Inkpen, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud.
President Dex, you have an urgent message from the International Confederation.
Really? How interesting. Read.
to President Nathaniel Dex of Dex Island. You are summoned to the International Confederation of World Leaders to settle the matter of responsibility for the Rhone missile disaster. You will be allowed to present evidence outlining your involvement, and you may defend yourself against the charges levied against you by the new Zenosi government, namely, that you willingly and in full knowledge of your actions did not communicate the power of the warhead sold, that you used Zenosi land to carry out an illegal weapons test on a populated area, that you are responsible for the deaths of over 3 million Zenosi citizens, final count ongoing, that you...
Otto, show me a list of those attending. Of course, no representative from the last Zenosi government will be in attendance to share the blame. I should have known.
Do you need information?
Always, Tristan. How long have you been there?
Long enough to have heard the message.
They have nothing on me, especially as everyone in attendance except the new Zenosi government put in orders for Rhone missiles within a week of the event.
What do they hope to achieve?
It's a circus. They should be offering me a seat at the table at this point, not dragging me into a trial.
A seat at the table?
Yes. The International Confederation is made up of the leaders of every nation.
I didn't realise not being on it bothered you so much.
It's a matter of principle. They still consider Dex Island to be a company and not a country.
If Dex Island's just a company, what nation do we belong to?
They haven't been able to work that out yet. You'd think they'd all be trying to claim us. The back payment in taxes alone would exceed most gross national products.
Well, I doubt they'll be trying now. If any country claims Dex Island at this point, they'll also have to deal with the fallout of the Rhone missile disaster.
No. No one will touch us now. Of course, since they all started invading one another, the number of International Confederation members has decreased to 10. It's an elite group.
Indeed.
Devek, Osa.
Nathaniel, I know you are happy to take payments from North Jakra in gold and stones, but the amount of it arriving on our airfield, where are we going to keep it all?
I have vaults under the palace where it will be quite safe. It's been 15 years since North Jakra invaded Chakri, and they've finally found a use for what they found there. Perhaps the Heaven 1 airship you're building me will have solid gold wiring, Osa. You always said gold was the highest quality conductor.
Gozin is the highest quality conductor, Nathaniel, but there's so little of it we cannot begin to think about using it on a larger scale. As for gold, if you wanted to use all of the gold on one airship, I'd be happy to. They're big, Nathaniel.
I thought you said this one would be smaller than Angel City.
Not that much smaller. They still need to carry thousands of soldiers, plus crew, plus a swarm of light fighters. I don't think all the gold on Chakri could wire the Heaven 1.
Well, we'll have to find a use for it.
Activating map.
They're fortifying their border with South Jakra. That's interesting.
How so?
It means people won't be able to cross the border easily except at controlled checkpoints. It's what countries do when they want tighter control over their populations.
I do not care what they do with their people. They've paid us, so we are giving them what they want. We will need to increase our manufacturing capacity, Nathaniel. This is our largest defense network commission yet.
Oza, you're forgetting the automated missile defense system we built for Nadris.
That was big on innovation, Devek. This is big on scale.
I take it Varian, Isra and Ren will be going to the border next to oversee installation.
No, not yet, Devek.
No?
The Terrans from Tarnano will soon be blocking the Blood Road.
What? The Blood Road's been quiet for years. What do they hope to achieve?
Well, the mines are bare, Devek, so they aren't after riches. My sources tell me they want to reclaim certain mountain towns and territories that were lost when the Blood Road was built.
Which was 1,000 years ago.
Almost, Osa. Clearly they haven't forgotten.
What difference will it make to North Jakra? Tristan, do you foresee a drawn-out conflict here?
North Jakra won't surrender ground.
So they'll use our troops on the Blood Road, squash this inconvenience, then bring the Dex forces down to the border as originally planned.
I expect so.
Keep the intelligence coming in. I want no surprises.
Where are Varian, Isra and Ren now?
I finished my treatments 3 days ago. We'll be back on the training quad today.
Come.
You wanted to see me?
Beautiful girl, you look very well. How are your brothers?
They took it worse than me. I'm fine.
I need a moment alone with my daughter. Tristan tells me you've been different. He tells me that in the days you spent training after you returned home from Dominar, you've been angrier than you used to be, that the others have started to fear you.
Good.
Good?
They should fear me.
It's normal to be angry after an experience like yours. It's affected you. Talk to me about it. Tell me what you're feeling.
It doesn't make sense that it happened. I'm the best, and that happened to me. It doesn't make sense.
So you're training harder to make sure it doesn't happen again?
I suppose so.
It is likely to happen again. You're a target, and you're going to spend a lot of time in conflict areas in the future. It's an unfortunate reality you have to face, but what happened to you doesn't make you weak.
I know.
Channel your anger into fighting your enemies.
I am.
Varian and Ren are not your enemies, and neither are the others you train with. Our enemies will find new and interesting ways to fight us, and sometimes they will succeed in landing a blow. When that happens, you learn from it. You get knocked down during training every single day, and you keep getting up, and you keep fighting. This is just another type of injury.
It's not. It's different.
And how is that?
It's not like cuts and bruises. I get flashbacks. I feel it all the time. It's in my head.
You're putting too much emphasis on it. Like I say, the fact that it happened, it doesn't mean you're weak. It's just another injury you need to recover from. Just another knock. Put it behind you.
I'm trying.
Try harder. If you accidentally kill one of our assets in training, and you could, nobody's denying that, but if you do, I will be very unhappy. And you don't want to make me unhappy, do you?
No.
No.
I'd never kill Varian or Ren. Ever.
I hope not. They're the reason you're alive.
I hate that.
But it's true. Face your truth. Accept it. Process it and move on. I don't want to hear about this again. Do you understand? Find a way to move forward that won't affect your performance or the assets around you. That's your responsibility now. Do you understand?
Yes, but I don't know if I can.
You can and you will. You will because I'm telling you to. Do you know how much money I've invested in you, making you the strongest and best soldier in the world? Do you have any idea what these years have taken out of the company in research and development? You will not throw all of that away because of an insignificant physical attack. I will not allow it. Get your head together. Do whatever it takes. Go to Devek and tell him to give you something if you need to, but get past it because failing me is not an option. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now go. You have processing to do.
Scan complete. Process.
Ugh, I can't wait to be out of here.
Tell me about it. I need to hit something. My arms are getting twitchy.
Is that even a thing?
It is for me. Where's Isra?
I don't know. Nathaniel wanted to see her.
She's had barely any side effects this time around.
Yeah, well, she got lucky, I guess.
You think she'll be okay in training today?
What do you mean?
When we were last on training quad, she was angry. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's changed a bit since Domino.
We've all changed.
Seriously?
What do you want me to say, Varian? She could be fine.
And she could be overly aggressive, lose control, and kill someone. You're not the same either.
Yeah, well, things were easier before.
Before you got captured, or before Isra did?
Both.
You survived it.
Before Dominar, I didn't realize people would be going out of their way to capture me and stick electrical probes up my fingers. It wasn't a good way to face the end, Varian. I always thought I'd die in battle, stabbed or blown up or something, but tied to a chair? Dying of thirst while a sadist cooked me from the inside out bit by bit? I never thought it would be like that.
We got you out. Isra and me. We got you out. And you and me, we got Isra out. That's how we work. We keep each other safe.
But we didn't, did we? We didn't keep her safe. Varian, when I went into that cave to get her, I tore everyone apart. They weren't in battle, they were just hanging out in that cave. 2 of them were injured.
Well, they were waiting too, right?
I don't know, maybe. The injured ones weren't. And I killed them anyway. I sliced a man from collarbone down through his ribcage and out the other side. And I'd do it again. I never felt like that before, but now I feel like I could cut up the whole world if I wanted. The only reason I'm not is because I don't want to. But I could.
I mean, technically, we're all like that. Because of these damn treatments.
But before I went into that cave, it hadn't occurred to me. I don't know what to do. She's so angry all the time now. Even when she's not, it's like she's on the edge of flipping out. Of course, you could always talk to her yourself. It doesn't all have to go through me. You're still her brother. Nothing that's happened between me and her has ever changed that. Or are you leaving it to me because it's easier?
That's not fair.
Huh, isn't it?
You were captured too. I wasn't. Not long enough for anything to happen anyways. I don't know what to say to her.
Yeah, well, neither do I. But I can't keep her from killing everyone on my own. So you're going to have to help me out.
Fine.
Fine.
Although after what you've just said, maybe I should be worrying about you too. Isra, what did Nathaniel want?
Nothing. How are you feeling?
Better than I was.
Are you ready to get back out there?
I'm ready. Let's go. Last time I done that assault course, it felt easier. I hate the first day back after treatments.
That's why we train, Varian. We get weak, we get strong. We get weak, we get strong.
Well, I'm ready to get some hits in. Isra, you pair with me. Ren.
I'm alright, Varian. I'm fine. You fight Ren. I can take Faris and Shiv.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'll get back to you two once you're warmed up and an actual challenge.
Yeah, right.
Faris? Shiv, get over here.
You want us to fight?
Yes, Shiv. That's the idea. Don't worry. I'll go easy on you.
You said that last time, Is.
You're alive, aren't you?
Just.
Let's go. You going to pick yourself up, Faris? Or do you want me to come over there and kiss it better?
Screw you, Is.
Isra, are you okay?
I'm fine. Let's go again.
Ren, you're not hitting me as hard as you could be. Is everything okay?
I'm keeping an eye on Isra like you said we should.
We still have to train.
Variant Faris just got a hit in.
What?
Isra's off form. Something's up. Ooh.
How did Shiv get her?
What the... Oh no.
Help!
That's blood, Ren. She's puking blood.
Help.
It's alright, Is. We're here.
Make it stop.
I'll take you to Devek. To the lab.
No. Please, no. Not again.
Did she pass out or is she dead?
Don't make me hit you, Faris.
She's passed out. I'm going.
I hit her in the stomach. I didn't mean...
This has got nothing to do with you, Shiv. Get out of the way.
Ren, what's going on?
I don't know, but this isn't from a single hit. I'll get her to Devek.
Go. I'll catch up.
I didn't mean...
You heard, Ren. It's not your fault, Shiv. Now, get back to what you were doing.
Running diagonal.
Good evening, Devek.
Oh, Tristan. What are you doing here?
Nathaniel sent me.
Of course he did.
I find this very interesting. You always talk about how you'd keep them safe in this lab if you could. But it's this lab that almost killed Isra this morning.
Almost killed her?
You're telling me that without immediate medical attention, she wouldn't have died today?
Oh, I'm certain she would have.
Tell me, do you still see yourself as a father to them?
Of course I do. They're my children. They always have been.
Wrong. They're Nathaniel's children.
He adopted them for me.
If that's true, why did he adopt them at all?
You know why. Dex Industries was based in Fenros at the time, and as their legal father, Nathaniel had more freedom over how we treated them. If they weren't adopted, the government might have kept a closer eye.
So why not allow you to adopt them yourself? Nathaniel lets you use them, Devik, but he remained in control to keep you from taking things too far.
What?
You're surprised?
It's only because he pushes them so far that I do what I do. I only give them the abilities they need to survive. He makes them fight, so I make them fast enough to stay ahead of the blows. I altered their bleeding cascade so they clot quicker when they're wounded. I changed their...
You do all of that with or without Nathaniel. Be honest. You'd do more if you could.
Of course, Tristan. To make them stronger. To protect them.
To protect them, of course. I've seen you administer your treatments, Derek. They cry and plead with you to stop, and you keep going. They scream in agony because of what you're doing to them from the inside out, and you keep going. They're sick and weak and broken from side effects, and you prep the next round.
At least what I do gives them a chance.
It gives you more data and facilitates your discoveries. That is all.
Oh. Hello, Oza.
I came as soon as I heard.
She's going to be fine. I don't know what all the fuss is about. Ren got her here in time, and I was able to intervene.
And she almost died.
Now she's out in the world, she could die in battle every day.
But this happened right here.
It was an unforeseen event. I had no idea her physiology would react like that.
Nathaniel is not happy, Devik.
Oh, gods. Tristan, I did not see you there. How did you do that?
It's my job, Osa.
I know Nathaniel's not happy, Tristan. But he's been unhappy before.
Yes, when they went blind.
That was particularly dramatic. He threw things. I've never seen him do that before or since.
She'll live and continue to improve. The boys are already showing signs of improvement from baseline just 3 days after treatment.
Devik, we need them in North Jakra in a month.
Yes, Tristan, and that's where they'll be.
Diag.
Did Otto just start to say something?
Yes, Osa, she's been doing it all afternoon.
Not finishing her sentences.
Or words most of the time. It's all right, I know what she meant. Diagnostic complete.
Devik, Otto is malfunctioning. It must be a bug in that update I ran this morning. I can fix her. What is it, Tristan?
Yes, I don't see what's funny.
The two greatest minds on the planet, and neither of you can see the humour in this.
If you're not going to be helpful, do not say anything at all.
Fine. Devik, how long will it take for her, meaning Isra, to be fully functional?
A week. At most.
Fine. I shall report back to Nathaniel.
I'm here to see Isra.
Isra Dex? She isn't in the hospital, she's in the lab.
Where's the lab?
You go down there, and there's a link corridor to the complex. But it's off limits, no visitors. Unless your name is also Dex.
No.
Well then, why don't you go back where you came from?
Okay.
Face not recog. No entry perm.
Oh, come on.
Face not recog. No entry perm.
Shiv, what are you doing here?
Oh, hi, Rhea. I came to see Isra. I was fighting her in training and she got sick. I wanted to see if she's okay.
I don't think you should go in there.
You were just in there.
My mechanical eye needed some adjustments, but I'm not allowed to hang around.
Why don't you come with me? We can both see her.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why wouldn't it be? Rhea, I just want to say sorry. It won't take long. She'll kick my ass next time she sees me if I don't make it up.
Shiv! Oh, fuck.
It's really quiet.
It's late and no one's here.
All the tech in the rooms. Those rooms through the windows. What does it do?
I don't know.
There's a technician. Hide.
If we were meant to be here, we wouldn't be hiding.
Shh. Okay, we can go.
Shiv, why do you want to... Oh, God.
What the... Isra! Why is she naked?
She's got all those probes sticking out of her.
There's not even a cover on this window. Anyone walking along this corridor can just... see her like that.
There's a tube sticking out of her ribcage. Ugh.
She started vomiting on the training quad.
She's not even in a bed. It's more like a rack.
It looks like the limbs of it move separately, and she's tied down. She's unconscious, right? Or do you think she's asleep?
She better be unconscious. That thing doesn't look comfortable. And who could be on that rack in a room like this and fall asleep?
It's not right.
She doesn't have any hair anywhere except her head.
Yeah, Rhea. Varian and Ren are the same. We've seen it in the showers.
I'm Fleet, not Army, remember? I'm a pilot. I've not showered with you lot since we were kids.
It's like she's been switched off. Somehow.
She has been.
I know she's scary when she's out there, but this is scary in a different way.
What are you two doing here? Raya? I dismissed you already and... Who's this?
Shivrata. I'm a soldier.
Have you been assigned to me? You're a test subject.
No.
You're not.
She was fighting Isra before. She wanted to say sorry.
This isn't the hospital. We do not allow visitors. Go back to the barracks where you belong, unless you want me to enroll you onto a course of treatments. Raya, come with me. There's another retinal test I could run, and as you're still here, I might as well.
Go. Go now before it's too late.
Shiv? What are you doing here?
I came to see Isra and...
Who let you in?
Raya was leaving. She was having her eye tested.
You went in without permission? Without being sent for?
I wanted to say sorry.
It's got nothing to do with you. I told you that. Did you see her? Did you see her?
Yes.
You have no right being here. None.
I'm sorry.
What we go through in here is bad enough without you walking in and... You will tell no one what you saw. No one. Do you understand?
It's all right. I won't.
It's not all right. You can't take this back. Not now. If you tell anyone what you saw, including Isra, I'll know. Do you understand?
Yes.
Remember, every time I fight you in training, I'm holding back. But I don't have to. Accidents happen. Now leave and talk to no one.
Ren, you're scaring me.
Good.
In episode 5 of The Dex Legacy, you heard Chris Gregory as Nathaniel Dex, Warren Graham as Tristan Crail, Annika Cordes as Dr. Osis Rivastava, Louis Watson as Dr. Devik Shah, Kamara Elliott as Varian Dex, Kelsey Griffin as Isra Dex, Charlie Richards as Ren Dex, Raki Sharma as Shiv, Stevie Skinner as Raya, Danielle Ellett as Faris, John Baverton as The Nurse, and Emily Inkpen as Auto, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud. If you enjoyed that episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. These things mean the world to us and make the Dex Legacy more visible to potential listeners. If you would like to support the Dex Legacy, you can at ko-fi.com/the Dex Legacy audio drama. That's ko-fi.com. Direct links can be found at www.thedexlegacy.com. At thedexlegacy.com you will also find scripts for every episode and interlude, so if you like to read while you listen, you can. There's also a page dedicated to the cast and a whole load of bonus materials, including maps, a gallery of character portraits, the soundtrack, and more. You can also sign up to the Dex Legacy newsletter for a secret link to me reading The Dark, a short story and prequel to the audio drama. Now we have a trailer for Karen Heimdall's new science fiction audio drama, Chaker.
This is Valen Solarin, engineering lead lunar mining, seeking urgent status update on, Earth.
Chaker, a science fiction audio drama.
Nothing has been heard from the Mars colony since before Earth went silent. Maybe they all died too.
Lave Radio. Lave Radio. Fly safe and enjoy the show.
Radio. Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous, and the fantastic community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 455 of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Psychit, and joining me in the orange sidewinder bar for this episode are our Banksy SRV.
Greetings, Claire, Kit, Sai.
I don't know what's going on. It's a bad time. Oh, well, we're fucked now. We also have the wonderful Tech Gibbon, who isn't teching today. He's actually just here to talk. I know, what a novel experience. We have Chris Montfort.
Hello, just here to blather.
What's going on? Oh no! Hey guys, guess what? Ben's back.
Remember, this is a space game, Claire. Yeah.
It's a space game, man.
It's a space game.
Space games.
Yeah. We're not multiple universing.
We're not multiple universing. Yeah. We're talking about space games. We might talk about other things when we talk about what we've been up to in the last couple of weeks.
Just go for the eyes.
I don't understand why you keep giving me that quote, because that quote isn't in the game.
I know it's not, but it's still an excellent quote.
If you wish, you can join us. You can join us. We are hanging out.
We're at Lave.
Lave. You're both at Lave. I can see that Chris is saving the table.
Yeah, Chris is at the table and I'm just pulling up.
Perfect. We're at Lave Station doing things. If you can't get in game though, you can also join us at the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live, clicking on live chat, and on twitch.tv/Lave Radio. We're also in other social media places doing the thing. You know where you can find it that way. Hi folks, I'm so sorry that was so terrible. My apologies. I've been ill for like a week, but we'll get to that later. Let's start with Alec. How have you been this week?
Oh, please don't. Yeah, I've been slightly ill as well. I don't know. This has been a strange week. I've just had so much on in real life. It feels like that.
Have you tried taking something off then?
But I've had less time in Elite this week than probably the last 8 years.
Really?
It's really annoying because there's this awesome bucketball race and I just haven't been in the game hardly at all.
That's
I just
all
tried
right.
to squeeze in a quick race just before the show and did badly. And also I'm a big user of EDHM these days to make all my UI the colours I like, and for some reason the update has thrown me back to default orange. It's ghastly. How the hell do people play this game in default orange?
I really like default orange.
Yeah, I'm so not used to it that I was looking at the screen thinking, surely it can't normally be like this.
It's amazing how quickly you get used to like the change of something. Do you know what I mean? Like how quickly you just get so comfortable with how something looks, and then when it changes back to how it looked before, you're just like, what?
Yeah,
what's going on?
It genuinely baffles me. Anyway, what I've actually done this week is the interesting thing is on Saturday I went to the Twinwood Festival, which me and the family have been to 3 or 4 times now. So it's a 3-day vintage music festival, which takes place on the airfield where the Glenn Miller Museum is in Bedford. It's blooming awesome. I love it. It's like mostly 40s and 50s vintage. So lots of Glenn Miller-y type music, lots of proper, like I say proper, like
big band stuff kind of thing.
Yeah, lots of big band stuff, lots of 50s rock and roll stuff, lots of kind of wartime music, I suppose. There's dance classes everywhere, so you can just turn up and sort of rock up for a beginner's dance class in, I don't know, I've forgotten the name of, the Quick Step or something. There's fantastic people there. Everyone dresses up. It's very much a very big dress up festival. So people that don't dress up look a bit odd, frankly, because everyone really goes for it. Lots of wartime stuff, lots of rock and roll stuff, lots of nice 40s, 50s dress up, which is hilarious in what can be a muddy field occasionally, but nobody gives a shit. And lots of bars and lots of stages. Yeah, it's really good fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It is a right laugh. Yeah, in game, bit of buckyball, bit of what have I been doing? I've been toying with that ED Copilot a bit more. I'm going to. So the time trial stuff is really taking off now that he's put in. So I'm going to start. My plan next week after this buckyball race is over is I'm going to try and create an SRV time trial for every engineer base, or at least the ones around the bubble.
Okay.
So there's that.
That sounds fun. That sounds like a bit of an undertaking, but if anyone can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done any yet, so we'll see how bold a claim that is.
Cool.
I'll do a couple.
Cool. Amazing. Okay, Chris, what have you been up to?
I have had I've had quite a sort of a busy week with work and stuff. The weekend I decided I was going to take the English bank holiday, so I had yesterday off, which was nice. After seeing pictures from our chief archivist away on holiday on a lovely beach, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go to a lovely beach and try and compete. The Scottish weather wasn't quite as good, but
I can imagine.
The beach and the fresh air and everything, I highly recommend fresh air. Apparently, it's meant to be good for you or everything, or so my mother says. So I went for a nice walk along the beach. I leveled up in my game of deer or log by spotting several moving logs that were out and about.
You sent me pictures.
I did send you pictures.
You were DMing me pictures. It was so lovely. I was like, I recognise those are deer.
That's definitely a deer.
Definitely a deer.
I counted about 12 deer yesterday,
Are
moving
you sure?
logs while I was out and about. Well, it was that, or they were logs of forward motion. So, yeah, there was lots out yesterday. Anyway,
I moved a few logs while I was in Turkey, but I'm not sure they're the same things.
Yeah, so a good game of deer or log yesterday. In game, I am still on my mission, my slow mission to unlock some of the engineers and do bits and pieces. My game time the other day was interrupted by the fact that I just couldn't get logged in. The servers were not lasting long enough for me. My mission at the yeah, I did when I could, but at the moment I'm trying to get my Sirius permit, my Why So Serious permit. And oh my god, am I lied? I'm going to their stations. Will they give me a damn mission? No. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna need to go to the guides.
No, don't worry about it, Chris, because that was in the patch notes this week.
Was that in the patch notes?
It's been bugged me. I'm so sorry.
I think that could have been a beautiful segue, Chris. And now look what you've done.
Well, do you know what? Well, today might be my day.
Chris, should we go to Sirius?
Do it now.
Do it. Do it.
Use the tool.
Oh no!
Incredible, amazing. I love that so much. That's my favorite thing so far. Ben,
right,
wonderful to have you back, mate. How are you doing?
It's lovely to be back. Yeah, so I had a gimpy arm for a few weeks. I've been on holiday. That was awesome. My arm is now about 80-90% there, and I can actually, I can move my mouse, and it will more or less go where I want it to be in things. So I consider that a win. I was able to run up to our usual table and look at Chris and salute him and things like that. And so this is an improvement. I'm going for physiotherapy just to basically try and get some of my dexterity back. My hand's my hand's still a wee bitty weird, but
I hear you. Yeah,
it's mostly there. And since I got back, I've been mostly today is my first day in space, in any kind of space, because I wound up in this weird alternate dimension.
What's that?
I don't know. There was just I woke up and I had a worm in my eye.
Okay. What have you been up to, Ben? What have you been playing?
No, there was a worm in my eye.
Just tell me the name of the game.
I was in a weird.
Ben, tell me the name of the fucking game.
Baldur's Gate or something like that.
Never heard of it. Yeah. Don't know what you're on about. Never heard of it. You'll have to tell me everything about that game when you finish it. You'll have to tell me your exact experience from start to end.
And yeah, I've been playing that since Saturday. And let's just check what's my playtime. I know when I was talking to people last night, it was about 40-something hours. And what am I now? I don't want to see my downloads. I'm at 42.8 hours.
Amazing.
Since Saturday.
Amazing. Amazing. That feels right. That feels right.
Yeah. I was saying to Chris, actually, I know it's not, but I'm getting very Dragon Age 3 kind of vibes for how much the story's grabbed me.
I hear you. It's one of the most beautiful narratives that I'm like all of the different story arcs, every single one. Not you, Gale, not you, Karlach, but almost every single story for me.
I like Karlach.
Yeah, I know. I love her as well. It's just not fleshed out enough, in my opinion. But
I don't know that.
Yeah, there are so many beautiful fucking stories in that game. There is a reason that my crazy hyperfixation has decided to latch onto this. It's just my it's my love. It's my love. It's the love of my life.
I'm loving how Elvis is saying 42 hours is first day numbers for you, Claire.
I'm at since it was released, according to Steam, which I've just opened to double check, I'm at 267 hours. So I've played a lot.
Well, I don't know when it was officially released.
Like a couple of Thursdays back.
Okay.
That doesn't feel like enough, honestly. And yeah, it's a wonderful game. I've managed to convince almost everybody to buy and play it. Anyway, it's very good to have you back.
Yeah,
it's very good to have you back.
I'm assuming Chris and I are going to fly to Sirius now.
I hope so. We'll be able to.
Shall we try that?
Do it.
Seems
oh my gosh,
Chris! Should we do this? Chris! Should we do two? Should we do two bugs in one stone? Shall we fly to Sirius in a Imperial cutter that has not been fixed, apparently, even though they said it was, and then they said it wasn't?
Let's do it. Will I be able to get my permit if I'm in your ship?
I think it's a ship only mission, isn't it?
It might be. Or you can take a ship as well.
Beautiful.
We'll find out.
Lovely.
We'll find out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Okay, cool. Good. Excellent for everyone to be here. What have I been up to? I think I've been really ill. I've spent the whole week. My only live thing from last week to this week was being on Lave. The only thing I did last week was go on Lave. I also went out and touched grass yesterday. It was not everything it cracked up to be, but it was nice to be outside for a little tiny bit. We took the pupper for a little walk. It's nice to get a little bit of fresh air. Everyone in the house, everyone here hasn't been particularly well. I have been completely and utterly dead on my feet for a whole week. I just needed a bit of R&R, come back raring to go and all of that sort of stuff. What did I do last week? Got ready for Buckyball and then forgot to post the form for it until like 5 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday, but we did it.
Was anyone desperately trying to submit runs earlier?
No, I don't think so. But I was playing Baldur's Gate until 5 o'clock in the morning, and I happened to just flip back to my my notifications. And I was on Discord, and I was like, I'm supposed to have done that for Buckyball.
Okay. You're making me now feel like a lightweight. I was only playing it till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, man. 3 o'clock's like a normal work day.
I feel like such a part-timer.
Such a part timer. But we did. But I got that done. Got that all out. And the elite that I've been doing has been buckyball. That's been a lot of fun. I reckon I can do 15 this year. I don't think I can do like the crazy heights, but I reckon I could probably squeeze a 15th for sure on the regulation. I'm not even looking at the unlimited. I'm not even looking at.
I saw Shay and Skur have managed 20 in unlimited, which is
that's insane. Absolutely insane. So I've gone through like the submissions and stuff, and I've been like, okay, I'm gonna do like a proper full scrutinize of them at the end of the race, but at the moment everything looks good. So, and I trust everyone who's entered to not like fudge numbers and shit for the most part. So everything is sort of like pending further scrutinization. But for the most part,
the thing with this race is it, there's the honest mistake of just missing a stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the only thing you have to really watch for.
For sure. It's a good one. It's good fun. But yeah, that's been pretty much my whole week, has been just like feeling a little bit sorry for myself, going to bed when I needed to, and then getting up when I needed to. I also watched like some of the Grand Prix. It wasn't a good Grand Prix either. I didn't enjoy that at all in the slightest. But and it had everything on paper. It looked like it was going to be really good because there was like lots of rain and shenanigans, and Daniel Ricciardo has had to have a thing and all of that stuff. I had to have an operation. So yeah, it should have been more enthralling, but it just wasn't. Could that be a hyperfixation thing? Maybe. But anyway, we shall, in that case, move on with all that stuff. I'm looking up. I was just looking. No, never mind. I was looking at what Ben was doing, and it didn't make any sense for a moment there.
I was leaving the docking bay in auto launch, and it seemed to work, even though they said it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
I'm heading off to Procyon, I'm assuming, which is where I guess Chris will be going to.
I just say, I'm just looking at the stream. If people can still see there was a view of the pilot and the empty co-pilot seat next to him in the cutter. I don't know if you can switch back to that for a second.
I can in a second, yes.
It amuses me greatly because it looks for all the world like the empty co-pilot seat is one of those sort of CGI animated two-dimensional people that's going to stand up.
It really does.
Doesn't it look like a person?
I see what I do. Damn, I won't be able to unsee that now. Yeah.
It looks like the murder lines.
Yeah, it does.
Someone's been killed in that seat, Ben.
Many someone's.
Exactly. What have the devs said this week? Well, on Friday, it was announced that update 16.1 would release on Tuesday, the 29th of August. And it did.
Holy shit, the devs said something and actually sticking to it.
Amazing.
Do game companies do that these days?
They do. I've heard there might be a bit of a buck in the trend, and that some game companies might actually not be only out to fleece you for everything that you have. Incredible. I know. It's wild. So it wasn't a huge, vast amount of patch notes, but there are some. Did anything sort of pique your guys' interest? Obviously not, Chris, with the Sirius system.
Apparently the Sirius permit's fixed.
Yeah, I got all excited seeing that the Imperial Cutter auto launch had been fixed, because although I don't use it very often, I do occasionally use it, especially if I'm doing bulk trading and going in and out and out and in and things. So I deliberately, and then I read that Sally or somebody was saying it isn't fixed, so I'm all confused now, and I need to double check everything.
I've got one that amused me greatly. Incidentally, I'm going to throw a little tip out there. I'm sure most people know this by now. On the forum, when you see a post from, for example, Sally with patch notes, in the top right of the post, there's a little orange box that says dev post in white letters. If you click on that little orange box, it takes you to the next dev post in that thread, and so on and so on. And so you can step through the thread looking at all the posts by Sally which is very handy for these. So yeah, this one amused me greatly because in the patch notes it said ancient relics can no longer rise into hovering or landed ships. And then what I like is much later in the thread, post number 59, Sally has posted, the following has been removed from the update due to instances of it still occurring. So ancient relics can still rise into hovering or landed ships.
Amazing.
I think I've been impaled by a relic before now.
What a way to go, though. What a way to go.
What does it genuinely just kill you as well?
No, I think your ship can get wedged on it. I think that you know the towers with the relics that rise up out of the ground.
Yeah.
I think there are occasions when it sort of goes through your ship and you're a bit stuck.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just reading the things here, and in today's patch notes post, someone was like, just to be clear, it's the auto launch, not auto docking, that's causing the cutter to crash. And Sally's then like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to take that out of the notes too. So that's two things, I guess, that were fixed but ain't fixed. But they might have done something on it because I did not crash. So
was it every time that you were crashing before?
It was every single time I did auto launch in my cutter. I would go off and I'd boop just above the X entry slot thingy. And then I'd reverse out and try it again.
Okay.
And I didn't do that this time because I was deliberately. That's why I was in third person looking for the boop, and there was no boop. So I'm going to be testing extensively now, I guess.
Testing for boops.
I am.
That's just my usual flying technique when trying to get out of the station. Never mind auto launch.
There is another interesting. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
There is another interesting one in the patch notes actually, which intrigues me greatly. Where is it? The ability for the ability for a collector limpet to handle obtaining items from the ground has been improved. I mean,
I didn't know they could do that.
No, neither did I. Who's using collector limpets to obtain items from the ground? And why have Frontier improved it?
I imagine it's something to do with scythes as well. It's balancing it on both sides now because now they have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they collecting? Well, that intrigues me even more.
I don't know.
Collecting people from the ground. We speculated about this.
I can see it being a very good thing for exploring. You know, if if you don't have an SRV, but you do have a limpet controller.
Yeah.
You know, if you could collect stuff that a friend has knocked for you, that could be good.
Who wouldn't love to see a scythe turn up at a settlement and start hoovering
up? I know it used to be used a lot for material gathering. There was people used to launch missiles at the brain trees and I think the crystal shards and stuff.
Yeah. But I thought they were just doing manual scooping.
Then you could do a flurry of limpets to then gather your wares, I believe. And
Where's
then at some point...
This is going on my to-do list.
And then at some point the limpets got a bit silly and started just like crashing into the ground. But yeah, I too spotted that one and thought about scythes for some reason. I thought, what would they be gathering now?
I mean, can you imagine if in the not too distant future, some of the nearby to the Thargoid War, like let's go crazy speculate and go near to the Thargoid War stuff, there's a rescue mission thing that happens or something along those lines. And you then have to get to the base to evacuate the people before the scythes literally just come in and start scooping people off the ground.
Yes, it's my dream of hungry hippos come true.
I do have the feeling that they are going to encroach on Ari's market with the cadaver scoop. If you could have a cadaver limpet, then
we need to,
gonna,
Oh God, we need to recreate that technology. We need to.
Limpet.
We've managed to get the hands on some of those scythe limpets, and now we need to reverse engineer it for it to be human tech. Human tech sounds good. That's so funny. That's so funny. I wonder if there is something else. I don't know if there was anything there that really sort of like stuck out to me. It's good about the permits for sure, but everything else, I was like, yeah, cool. It looks all good. It looks fun. It's good that they're still doing stuff like that. There was some speculation as to whether or not they Frontier just sort of like cheekily hid something else in with that update, and we might need to do a little bit of searching for that.
There's always a potential of that, isn't there?
I mean,
all the way back since '84.
Yeah,
it's not a very big update, as I recall seeing written somewhere.
It was 283 megabytes.
Right, but it could have unlocked something that was already there, I suppose.
For sure. We'll have to. The only time will tell. You'd think that there is a potential for it, with there being a Thursday show as well, and with other things that are happening this week, it might be, and things that have happened like No Man's Sky, and like quite a few space games have gone, hey, we've got some cool stuff. just to let you know, we have some cool stuff. I wonder if there's any other space games that might also be about to start. Who knows? Who knows whether that might be something that they would prioritize to get something out this week? Who knows?
I know no space games that are going to be in existence for me until at least Christmas.
That is a good point, isn't it? I suppose in the dev news section we ought to say that there is a live stream on Thursday.
There is. There is, unless they've changed that. But this is the delayed one from like 2 weeks ago, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool. So hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about on next week's show about it. Who knows? It'll be fun either way. Let's move over to the community news. What is the community up to? Hey, we didn't mention it last week at all. It's Buckyball Week.
It is. Woohoo! Who's doing this fantastic new Buckyball race, Claire?
Who's organised it?
Yeah.
I all I know is they're real cool.
I'd heard that.
They seem like a real cool dude.
a real Fruity dude.
They're super cool. They're a super cool person, and it took them far too long to settle on a name for it, and they just called it Pareco Run.
Not wrong with that.
Remember how I said that I was getting a bit overwhelmed towards before I took time off? Yeah, this is kind of demonstrative of this. It's the Pareco Run this week. Pareco, if you don't know how the Pareco Run works, effectively, Pareco is a system where 12, you get into the star, and then 12,000 light years out, there are 6 stations that are all really, really close to each other. All of those stations are literally within jump distance of each other. Well, not jump distance. It's like in, out kind of thing. It's really self-explanatory. The idea with Pareco Run is you get 20 minutes to visit these stations in a loop as many times as you possibly can. So you go through, you visit all of the stations, and then when 20 minutes is over, the next station that you stop at is your total of all of how many stations you've managed to arrive at. That is effectively the run. It is so simple and so easy because the last one was so complicated and so difficult that I thought it would be a nice a nice sort of palate cleanser.
Yeah, I love that it's like, it's 20 minutes. So if you've got 20 minutes spare, you can do a run. So literally at about 10 to 8 this evening, I looked at the clock and thought, I can do one run before Lave Radio. Yeah, because you know it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whether it goes well or it goes badly, it's 20 minutes. It's great. I love it. Somebody in chat, I just wanted to answer. Rocky Star said, how did this system come about, Pareco? The interesting thing about Pareco is that the 6 6 stations that are apparently orbiting nothing are actually orbiting a comet. So comets aren't rendered in the game. There's nothing to see. There's no physical manifestation of the comet to witness. But the game does seem to have data points for comets that things can orbit about. Many years ago, I think it has been done. I think it has been done since. One of the guys in Buckyball Commander, a lot, managed to actually. I can't remember how he did it, but he did actually manage to very briefly drop out on the sort of data point that is the comet at the center of the 6 stations, and managed to see something like comet #1264 in the nav panel. I can't remember exactly, but it's basically confirmed. It's not speculation. Yeah, they're orbiting a comet. It's cool, isn't it?
Do we know if the comets move about as well?
No, I don't think so. Be nice if we could see it, Frontier.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because we know that there is orbital mechanics in game because the planets move around and all that kind of stuff. And it would make sense for the comets to also have their orbits plotted.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, given that the data point's in there and it clearly works as a gravitational mass for these stations to orbit around and all that jazz, and this goes out to Darren in particular, I'd just like to say, how hard can it be? Come on.
That's all I was hearing in my head was the devs staring opposite the table going, how difficult could it be? Well, let us tell you how difficult it would be.
Just turn on the comet.
Just hit the button.
Do it.
It can't be that difficult. Surely it's not that difficult.
Like all the information's there. You just add a comment in, don't you?
Yeah, just add a comment. It can't be that difficult. Just speak to Art.
And don't call me Shirley.
Oh no, we're the worst.
Is this race like quite a good beginner's one for Buckyball?
Yes,
then?
yes.
Speaking as an idiot.
Speaking as an idiot,
one
I would say so. It's really you don't need extra tools or bells and whistles for it or anything along those lines. You don't need to be an absolute genius when it comes to like SRV flying or knowing the exact placement that you need to go through tunnels or things like that. It's just so what you see is what you get. You're literally going from station to station.
Take
all
off
the way
flight to
around and then
Phillips
again.
land, take off flight to Webb land, take off flight to Asaya land, take off flight to Crown land, take off flight to Garden land.
Get really angry at Garden and then land.
Repeat until 20 minutes is up.
Just wondering, you know how you said you could almost do it in an SRV?
What, this?
Have you tried?
No, you can't do this in an SRV. Much as I would love to.
But
could
yeah,
you?
Oh,
actually, God, now you've put an idea.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh dear.
Don't do it.
I'll tell you what you can do. So what is really cool, I think these are the only 2 stations. When you take off from Neville Ring, before you even jump to Super Cruise, you can see Phillips Market in the distance.
You can, yeah.
Which is awesome. So, I mean, which means you can fly there. You won't. It might take you more than 20 minutes just to do the one stop. But yeah, you can fly from Neville to Phillips in normal space. So in theory, there's no planet anywhere near though. No, forget it. Scrap that stupid idea.
You could leap from the comet.
You can't though.
Yeah.
No,
only we could do deployments in space.
Yeah, I can't get the SRV. Yeah. If you could get the SRV at Neville, then somebody could clearly bat it from Neville to Phillips. But no, I don't think that's.
Are we sure it's a comet and they're not just orbiting one of your SRV attempts?
Here's a challenge to Ghost Giraffe: deploy an SRV at Neville Ring, and then I'll have a go at this. I'm sure Ghost Giraffe will find a way of achieving that.
For sure. Pareco Run. It's running until Sunday. Until sort of end of Sunday. Give it a go. Give it a go. It's real fun.
Yeah, go. One more momentous thing that has happened this week.
Oh yes.
In Buckyball. I mean, this To most people, this will be nothing, but to a few of us, this is absolutely momentous. So, how many years ago? Maybe 4 years ago in the history in buckyball racing. We've been going since beta, so we've been doing this forever. But about 4 years ago, a racer came on the scene called Cookie Hole. Maybe 5 years ago, actually. Who was unbeatable. You know, there was a whole bunch of us regulars who'd been doing it a very long time, slowly improving, and then Cookie Hole rocks up one day and just beat everybody. He was insanely fast, and remained insanely fast for several years. So every single race, he was always top of the leaderboards. And then stopped playing Elite. I'm going to say 3 years ago, maybe. Disappeared, and then. Maybe 6 months after Cookie Hole disappeared, one Shay Blackwood turned up on the scene and did exactly the same. Was equally ludicrously good and has basically remained number one. Skur keeps up with Shay occasionally, and Brusky keeps up with Shay, but Shay's pretty much reliably 1 or 2. And the joke became that. It was intriguing, he says, scratching his chin, that we never saw Shay Blackwood and Cookie Hole in the same instance. and was it the same person that had just left the game and come back with an alt? And it's even immortalised in the song that Chikoso did for us about Cookie Hole being the fastest in his day. You never see him in the same instance as Shay Blackwood. Curious, eh? What's super exciting is Cookie Hole popped up on the forums yesterday. It might even have been today. It said, "I'm back and I'm going to give this race a go." So we are going to see Cookie Hole go up against Shay Blackwood, which is super exciting.
Very cool. Very cool. It's my race as well.
Buckyball, they could still be the same person, couldn't they?
Yes, I suppose. Yes, they could. Yes, the myth continues that they are. Poor old Cookie Hole is probably pretty rusty, to be honest. He's been away from the game for 4 years, so there's a weight of expectation that I do feel.
Right. Bless him. Other community news bits we can talk about right now as well. We've I saw a tweet from Commander Nick Webb, who has answered the question of who wins in the Thargoid versus the Guardians war via the unorthodox method of marble simulation, because why not? Marble simulation is used for everything. It's really good. We also had a high wake video come out over the weekend, which was, you'll like this one, Ben. It's "Where's My Booze?"
I did see one high wake video.
He rocked out 2.
I saw the one where it was like Dead Game.
Yeah, Dead Game.
Yeah,
Dead Game was last week. Yeah. Dead Game was like last weekend. Dead Game came out while we were at ECM. Where's My Booze came out over the weekend, and the bartender ends up with something in a rather uncomfortable position.
An optical lens where you do not want an optical lens to go.
Unless, and we don't kink shame here, unless you want it to be there.
Unless you do, in which case it's absolutely fine by us. In fact, it reminds me of one of the biggest developments while Ben's been on holiday.
Indeed. we need to talk about it. We need to talk about the biggest development.
What would this be?
Your cups have lids now, so the water doesn't come out.
I have heard about that. Yes, that was in update 16.
It was in update 16. We joked about it with the fact that we couldn't talk to you about it until you came back, because it was really funny. They waited for you to go away before we did anything.
But that's only in 0G stations, isn't it?
Yes? ?
Right, Chris,
they seem to have cups in many stations.
Okay, well, Chris, I'm gonna have to come into your ship, and we can fly off to a 0G station.
Okay.
Well, I've been going in and out testing the cutter, and so far I haven't booped anything.
Amazing.
I know.
Amazing.
Actually, some cup science would be good, Ben, because when we first featured the cups with lids,
yes,
Chris pointed out that there were cups without lids, but then we also realised that the station did have gravity. So if you can find a cup without a lid on a zero gravity station, that would be good science.
I can cry shenanigans.
You know what that? Do you know what that actually sounds like? With you saying that to Ben, it's like you're trying to occupy a child with something that doesn't really matter.
You go and do some colouring in the corner and let the grown-ups talk.
Go down to the beach and find me a really nice looking shell. Off
Yeah,
you go.
find me the best shell that you can find. Don't leave my site, so we know that you're still there.
You're giving me flashbacks of my my son being a little bit too. Actually, both my son and my daughter were a little bit too independent on holiday.
Oh dear.
For some reason, my daughter decided she's actually, even though she's 6, I'm a teenager now.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
No, I'm sorry, love. You're not a teenager. It's 9 o'clock at night. We're in a foreign country. It's dark. You are not wandering about the place on your own.
She'll be smoking next. You know that, Ben.
Oh, God.
By the time she's 12, job done. There's also one other thing that I wanted to point out that got sent to me this week. There is, for those of you who speak French, and I really wish I was a little bit more fluent in French because this looks actually amazing from the trailer. There's this new French show that's coming out. I've got the link to the tweet about it in the notes, but in the show notes, I think, and I may butcher a translation, but I think it's Journey Within an Extinct Civilization, and it looks like full of intrigue and stuff. I really wish I spoke French because the production value looks amazing.
Yeah, I just looked before the show because I saw it pop up in the show notes. It looks super cool. Presumably, modern tech being as clever as it is these days, can you turn on subtitles with translation?
I don't know. I hope so because I do want to give it a look. Because it just seemed really, really cool.
Can I just ask a quick question? Does anybody know if we can buy these sippy cups that they've got on the stations anywhere for reals? Because I want one.
I don't know. I don't know, but it would be an amazing, amazing cash grab.
It would be. It'd be an amazing thing for Frontier to have. And Chris,
sure.
I'm now in your ship if you want to go exploring.
I wondered what that smell was.
I'm sorry. I farted.
Gross. Keep your bodily functions to yourself, unless you're into that, in which case we don't kink shame it. Folks, if you have a community event taking place soon and would like for us to shout it out about the airwaves, please let us know. Tweet us at Lave Radio or get in contact with any of us and just let us know of some shit that you've got going on, because we love hearing about it and we love being able to talk about it on the show. We are going to take a very quick advert break now, but we will be back in a couple of minutes to talk about the in-game events.
Get ready. LAVE Radio.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Ares Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Ares Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
Out there's a ship just for you. A ship that can carry you to the furthest stars, jumping long distances whilst offering an unobstructed view of the galaxy. A ship that can also pack a decent punch if the pirates come knocking. A ship that feels safe. A ship that feels like home. The Asp Explorer. A great ship at a great price in a competitive galaxy. Fly far. Fly safe. Fly in front of those.
Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
And we're back. Cool. Let's have a look at what's happened this week at the in-game events. So on Friday, a CG started. You heard me right. On Friday, a CG started. Wild. Deliveries were requested to commemorate the Duval family. They're doing the statues for the Duval family in gold. We love it. We love it when rich empire families display their wealth. That's never been a bad time through especially the whole of...
Especially in the middle of the war and when millions of people have gone missing.
For sure.
It really cheers everyone up to see the Empire building gold statues.
It's in such good taste. It's the best thing that they could have done at this particular moment. Honouring the Emperor with lavish statues. However, what it has done is it's resulted in a new gold rush for folks. I've seen people earning in excess of 8 billion a day.
Yeah, it's stupid. We've talked about Foxy Loxy. If you've seen Foxy Loxy's video of doing the gold rush, it's just because he's already got himself a fleet carrier, and what's the maximum capacity of a fleet carrier? Is it 25,000 tons?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he literally filled a fleet carrier with gold and then took it to where you have to turn it all in, and then turn it all in made I lost count, but billions and billions and billions.
It makes a change for it to be an actual gold rush rather than, something else.
It was tritium for the Golconda, wasn't it?
Yeah. I missed that, and I picked
too.
the wrong week not to be playing Elite, and also having to do Buckyball in the few hours when I've literally not hopped on this at all.
But is it the right week for not, for stopping smoking glue?
What?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm still smoking glue.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
Everyone smokes glue, Ben. Why would you even stop doing that?
Sorry, I might have also watched Aeroplane.
Oh God. So that happened on Friday, and people have been going mental for getting lots of money, which is a thing that we all want to do. The following article was on Monday, and it was, funnily enough, Rackham refutes rumours. Gotta love a little bit of alliteration. It's my favourite part of my day. Zachary Rackham has denied allegations that he was a notorious pirate lord.
I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Are you a notorious pirate lord? No.
I mean, I don't know. It seems nowadays that you would lean into it, but maybe in distant space future, it's like no, not me.
I like Ventura's comment. No.
What about this parrot on my shoulder? Suggesting
I'm gonna
pirate.
have to interject again. When I was on my holidays, I took the kids on a pirate ship, and because it was early in the morning, I asked for a coffee, and the guy was like, "How do you want your coffee?" And I did honestly say, "As blats me art." And then I felt, why did I do that?
Why would you embarrass yourself against this person that you're unlikely to see ever again or recognize? Oh no! However we go.
I know. It made my kids laugh. That was.
I mean, there's the goal. That's the goal right there.
Oh my
you know what they
god!
could do?
I can't believe I just did that.
They could catch him out. They could pull Zachary Rackham up in front of a tribunal, and they could say, "What letter does your surname begin with?" And he'd be forced to say "R."
Oh no!
We'd have him bang to rights.
Bang to rights. Clearly pirate. Clearly pirate. Oh my god!
It's like instead of doing the. Instead of like doing the sobriety test, it's like, please just recite the alphabet.
Oh no. This is real bad. We're in terrible territory and I'm here for it. So yeah, he said no. He thinks it's hilarious, but he wasn't a swashbuckling corsair in his youth. I love it. I love it so much. I just think it's such nonsense. Got him. And then there was a response being like, yeah, well, he's very good at covering his tracks, so he could still be.
Yeah.
Amazing. Actually amazing. I love it. I love it so much. I am partial to a pirate. It's very funny. Anywho, today we had another article that came out. We had on our usual monthly war update, Thargoid war update from Jade Sanderlin of Vox Galactica for August. You're right, Ben.
Glasses with sippy cups.
We got there, folks. He found them.
Although I want to know how they're being poured in from these bar.
Maybe it's like that underneath thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the underneath thing, but they've got lids
just
now.
Like attach a nipple to a nipple and then
Yeah, exactly. Just nipple on nipple action. If you're into that, we're not going to kink shame.
I think I see a show title coming.
Claire, jokes come in threes. You can't say it again. I'm going to say it again. This is a bad time. Okay, cool. We've established the nipple to nipple action, and we can now move on from that. So the Thargoid War update. Jade Sanderlin reviewing ongoing developments in the war against the Thargoids. So the things that we need, that for me at least, the things that I took away from this are they're talking about the unsubstantiated rumors being true. Thargoids are eating people. Again, like signal boosting that. Also, another note to Holloway Bioscience Institute. People who might not be familiar with Holloway Bioscience Institute, they were the people who had all of Albert Tessero's information. They took all of her notes and research when Aegis was... some of her notes, not all of her notes. They took some of her notes when Aegis was unceremoniously disbanded. And they then are now in bed with our old friend Caleb Wycherley's group, Azimuth Biotech. They were one of the named people who were at that. So that's something just generally to bear in mind when it comes to seeing the name Holloway Bioscience Institute. Is the fact that they did have a lot of information from Aegis, and they also, for all intents and purposes, are in bed with Azimuth as well. So they have a lot of information, and they could turn into kind of like a heavy player in the grand scheme of things when we get there. Just
interesting. I've only just seen this article. I didn't read this until just now. I like that the final sentence is like Frontier speaking directly to us. Several pilots told me this is normal Thargoid behavior. Yes, we all did. We all pointed out it was normal Thargoid behavior. But Xeno peace activists feel this discovery presents an opportunity.
That's kind of what I've seen as like around social media or in various discords when you're talking about the Thargoid War, like people going, yeah, no, it doesn't, it's not a thing. It's like, this is something that's happened all the time. Why are you getting so high up about it? And then also on the flip side of that, it's the Xeno peace people who are like, hey, they're finally pointing it out. They're finally saying something about it. This is another signal boost.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I've always liked these articles. I think it's great to get this like at the end of every month we get a hey, let's just round up what's happened so far in the Thargoid War, in case for those people who might have like a vague interest in it but are so detached, like the other side of the bubble doing. Not the bubble, the other side of the galaxy doing exobio can still see kind of what's going on with the story and have an idea of what to expect when they get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're good. I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago, but I keep forgetting to read these war updates because I assume they're going to be dry numbers, and then I open the Galnet news and go, oh, it's not dry numbers, it's actual story, and it's quite interesting. And there may well be clues to things in there. Who knows?
Yeah, just a nice little roundup where we can get the information that we need, which is really, really cool. But that's it for the in-game events for this week. Yeah, it is. That's it for the in-game events for this week, which means it is in fact that time of the week again.
Store alert! Newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your
There's naff all in the store this week. That said, Ben, you've missed out on some amazing stuff that's been in the store. Not last week, not you, Ash Skins, but we've had what have we had in the last month? We've had
the cowl and the shiny helmet.
We've had the cowl and the shiny helmet. We've had another suit. We've had the friggin' ship kits. With the moving radars on them, ship kits for the big three, no less, as well as like 5 other ships. I think it was wild. All of them have like moving parts on them as well. Very cool.
Are they moving all the time, or do they move only when you're like the light?
Like a little rotating radar dish on one of them.
It's cool.
Turns your ship into like the Millennium Falcon kind of video.
Living out your Millennium Falcon fantasies right there. So yeah, these were really cool. We had the hooded cowl suits. So you got like a new scarf hood type thing with a very, very shiny helmet. Oh God, no!
Polished to within an inch of its life.
Are you ready, Claire?
No.
Okay.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for whatever you have to say, but go for it.
Who's been polishing their helmets?
Here we go. Woo! Yeah. So there's been some cool stuff, some not so cool stuff. Been some cool stuff, some not so cool stuff, but it be what it be. It's been a good week. You just happen to come back and there's nothing Nothing on this Friday. Well, every other Friday we've had some things, and it's
Gave us a natural break so that we could tell Ben about all the stuff he'd missed.
Yeah,
Very kind of him.
it's been pretty cool. We've had some like commander shit. We've had some ship kits. We've had some terrible asp paint jobs, which were very, very loud. But I mean, each to their own. Each to their own. It's been really cool. Have a look at some of the stuff, Ben. I think you might like it. That sentence got away with me.
I shall.
What do you think we're due next? Do you think we're due something for the SRVs? Because I don't think we've had an SRV thing for a bit.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be quite good, actually. Yeah, they haven't done an SRV kit for years.
Normally SRVs just get lumped in on the we're doing a set color for everything. SRVs are getting it as well.
You know, like you can get all sorts of different paint jobs for weapons as well, hand weapons.
Yeah.
Do they just come with suits? I don't remember them ever announcing weapon paint jobs on the store alert.
I don't think we've ever.
I don't think I've seen one that I can think of.
I don't think we've ever had. Have we ever had new weapon skins since Odyssey?
Gosh. Was there a load then with Odyssey? Did Odyssey
There
come with
were
load?
a lot with Odyssey.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. And none since. Wow.
I mean, I would be happy to be corrected in chat or anywhere if it's not, that's not been the case. But I don't think there's been new weapon skins that have come out since Odyssey, which is.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just realised my mic's open and I'm laughing at Alec.
Fairy dice. Is it the fairy dice? Yeah, I knew it would be that.
Yeah.
The ability to do up your SRV like some kid's Corsa.
Yes, I want fairy dice. I want to be able to have on the windscreen. I want to be able to have Sharon and Tony written across the windscreen. I want a chrome exhaust extension, and I'd like a Richard Grant flexi boot spoiler, please.
What about a really unnecessary decal of a stick family across the back?
Oh yes, yeah. Only if it's got also a Thargoid in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, can I have a load of tin cans on a string? That'd be really funny.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. You know what? I think we might make that a question of the week. For next week.
Yeah, that's great.
I think we ought to. Let's do it. Let's do a question of the week.
How would you pimp your SRV?
How would pimp your SRV? Tell me how you would pimp it. For sure is yeah. I'm excited about that. Wild. So yeah, nothing this week. As far as the store alert is concerned, but maybe SRV stuff in the future. Frontier Plus.
What I would love would be
go for it, Ben.
SLF. Kits, basically, especially if they could continue them on into CQC. Yeah, I would love paint jobs for our ship launch fighters. I think you can just change the colours, can't you? And there's nothing really else.
I didn't even. Yeah, you can change the colours because you can get.
Jesus!
You can get some bits and pieces, just like changing the colours, but I don't think you can do anything else.
Yeah.
I think the problem, and it's true of the SRV as well, is there isn't much surface area to take advantage.
There's more surface area on the SLF and on the SRV than there is in a gun.
How much?
Just saying.
Yeah, but perspective-wise, maybe not. But how much does you'd have to when you were designing stuff like that, you'd have to bear in mind that these ships and the SRVs do sort of like fold up a little bit when they reboard the ships, don't they?
I'm sorry, I'm now thinking tie-dye.
Jesus, I would love tie-dye paint jobs. Oh man, make it so Frontier. That's so pandemic though. So pandemic. What we will do is we will take another little break, and then we will come back with the main discussion stuff.
Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
Have you found yourself in a spot of bother with those Xenos messing up your backyard?
Oh, why are there Fargoids in my system?
Can't leave the house without fear of a hyperdiction?
Can't even get to work. Not that they've noticed, because everything's on fire there too.
Sick of the amount of time it takes to scrub the caustic damage from those hard-to-reach places?
Oh, fuck. Oh, it fucking hurts. Fuck. Ow.
Introducing Dr. Pope's Caustic Burn Cream. Apply a few drops to the affected area and feel the euphoria of instant relief. After that, just wash the burn away.
It's like it was meant to happen.
It's so good, you can even use it on your ships.
Thanks, Dr. Pope. My ship smells brand new.
Dr. Pope's Caustic Burn Cream, the miracle that can happen. Side effects may include dizziness, constipation, an itching sensation, worship of an obviously aggressive false deity, death, and loss of sense of smell. Should you experience any of these symptoms, please contact your doctor immediately. Not Dr. Pope though, he's busy.
I could murder a cup of tea. Yorkshire Gold, if you have it. Double Yorkshire Gold. And if you don't have it, you're dead. Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
Amazing. I love that sting so much. It's so good. Yeah, folks, I figured, what time are we? I think we're good to use the question of the week as our main discussion this week, because we had a lot of answers. We had a lot of answers to that, and I think it's kind of pertinent when we have. Sometimes we have some slow news weeks. This isn't necessarily a slow news week in the grand scheme of things because we've had an update, but nothing's been like super announced or anything. We're on the last show before a Frameshift Live, so we don't have a lot of tangible things to sort of grip hold on and like talk about things that we're expecting in the future, X, Y, and Z, and all of that stuff. So I thought I would posit the question to you guys first, and then we'll move on to the question of the week. What is it that keeps you playing, keeps you logging into Elite? I'm very aware that I've asked this question to all of you before, but humour me. Tell me why it is that you log into Elite or you play Elite still after all this time. Shall we start? Let's start with Chris Mark 4.
Ooh, why do I keep playing? Do you know what? Because I have been so slow in the game and been playing it for so long and just sort of narrowly doing bits. I've still got so much to do. Like you know, I'm still doing engineering unlocks and stuff like that keeps me coming back. And there's always like something different to do, which is why I don't get bored. Like if I want, I can go and I can take part in on foot pew pew in a war zone and do a bit of the frontline solution stuff, or I can go off and explore and do the Vista genomics stuff. There's so many little different elements, so I can come back to the game all the time. It's like it's just like a little constant there in the background that keeps drawing me back in. That's like quite, that's one of the reasons that I sort of keep coming back.
Okay. Cool. Speaking of permits, have you managed to get the serious permit?
Stop taunting me. No, still not. We're now going to try another station. We're now on our third station. So I'm gonna hop over there. I am allied with them. They don't treat me like I'm allied with them. They just keep sneering at me when I turn up looking for a permit.
You have to remember, Sirius are scum.
Wow.
That's very true. Maybe if I become an enemy of them and then work my way back up, maybe that's what I'm going to do.
Maybe that's what you have to do. Maybe that's what you have to do for sure. Alec.
I tell you, I think it's because I find Elite a very comfortable game to play. In that, I think we spoke about this maybe in last week or something.
Yeah.
But things like just flying a ship or mining, or it's quite slow, but in a nice way. So I just find it a very comfortable game to play, and it's sort of inherently enjoyable. Like my enjoyment, unlike some games, a lot of games, I suppose, my enjoyment doesn't require new things. It's not like what's around the next corner. What happens when I solve this puzzle and get through that door at the end of the corridor, and what am I going to see? Those sort of like Stray or something. Would I spend 5,000 hours walking around the same town in Stray, or a very big town in Stray?
Mm-hmm.
No, probably not. But I find flying a spaceship sort of inherently enjoyable. It doesn't need. I'm not saying I don't like the updates and the new things, but it's just always a pleasure. I can't see myself getting bored of it because I just enjoy the activity. And then, as Chris says, there's always things to do. There's always a buckyball race, and if there isn't a buckyball race in the week that the race has been on, I've got a to-do list of stupid little things, like I now need to go and try collecting materials off the ground using a ship and limpets just to see what happens, and there's always something to do.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Ben?
Well, I think I'm very similar to Alec. I think I would describe, and I've always described, Elite as a forever game.
Yeah.
So I can see myself, like as I said at the beginning of the show, I've been playing Baldur's Gate a shit ton since I got back.
Yeah.
I can't see myself playing Baldur's Gate 5, 6, 7 times through the storyline. Yeah, I know you've played it a couple of times through now, Si. I suspect, and I could be wrong here, that once I've played it through all the way through the storyline, I'll put it down and I'll maybe revisit it in a wee while, especially if they release some DLC and things, which I heard they are thinking about now.
Please don't make me any more excited about that, Ben.
Sorry.
I'm doing a show or a space game.
So I know I can go away for 40, 50, 100 hours.
Yeah.
And Elite will still be there.
Yeah.
I also count Star Citizen in the forever game and not in the sarcastic, because it's going to take forever. But it scratches a lot of the same itches. But the benefit that Elite has over Star Citizen in its design is I can get to a lot of things quicker, and I can do what I wanted to do a lot faster in Elite Dangerous than I can in Star Citizen. Because in Elite, if I want to go and do a war, I can go and speak to somebody in Frontline Solutions, jump in an adder, and away I go.
Yeah.
In Star Citizen, I've got a whole load of prep work, and you can take me maybe even half an hour to actually get where I needed to be, and then I've got to find a mission.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing, actually, in Elite Dangerous's favor, that it's maybe lacking some of the, I need to flush the toilet and eat food and blah, blah, blah that Star Citizen has. But it makes up for that in the, shut the fuck up, I just want to play the bloody thing.
Just want to be in a spaceship, man.
Yeah, I just want to fly a spaceship. And as Alex said, flying around, I don't care what the hell I'm doing, I'm flying a bloody spaceship, and that's amazing fun. And that remains true and has remained true all the way since I ever first flew a Sidewinder back in the alpha. It is as much fun today flying a Sidewinder as it was all the way back then, and nothing will change that.
That's incredible. I love that. I love that that feeling that it's going to sound really, 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 really shit if I say Elite Dangerous is comfortable, because that sounds like really passive.
But it's like a nice pair of slippers that you've put on.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah. Orange Phoenix said that in chat. Like, it feels like putting on your favorite robe and slippers, and I don't, because I don't want it to feel comfortable. I still want it in times to feel like a challenge. And when we have things like player run events like Buckyball and things along those lines, that's when it can feel like a challenge, or this you want to go and take on your Thargoids and stuff. But other times it can be like that comfortable game that you just go back to and you just pick up again. I hadn't played Elite for 2 weeks. I played it on the update when the update dropped that day, and then I didn't play it again until today. And I thought I would be like Ben, you've played a lot of Baldur's Gate. Yeah. I've played like 5 times as much of that in the time. But
I've not played Elite Dangerous for over a month now.
Yeah. And I thought I genuinely thought that I would be like, oh, I'm back in Elite. Okay. And like back in Elite out of obligation. But I cannot stress enough how much I enjoyed playing today. And it reminded me of how special Elite is. And like how special and important Elite is to me. And that feels overly soppy, maybe feels a little bit
but it's
selfish.
True, when I got in game and I took my cutter out, it was just like you're slipping into a comfortable chair.
Yeah.
And I'm flying a cutter at the moment. It is slow, it is heavy, and it felt good.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Like it was lovely today being able to play or like enjoying that experience of playing the video game in just the way that I do, and enjoying being in space. Yeah, the game crashed a couple of times. Yeah, it completely fucked my OBS when it did that and all of that nonsense. But it's Elite, it does that. That be what it do. But
that's a pretty good benchmark, actually, when you can go away from it for a long time, play another extremely good game because you can get set in your ways and do the same thing over and over and kid yourself that you're having fun, and you just got stuck in a rut kind of thing. And so to be able to sort of break that mold and then come back to it and still enjoy it, I think speaks volumes. I
agree. I was concerned today that I might have to fake enjoying Elite. And I'm going to put it out there. I'm literally going to put it out there and say I sat there in front of my computer before I started playing Elite today, and I was genuinely worried that I was going to hate playing it and have to fake being like enjoying Elite and having to fake like my experience of playing Elite. And I was just like, because that goes against fucking everything that I've done as far as Elite or anything like that is concerned. If I don't enjoy something, I'm going to stop doing it. I uninstalled Eve, and the fucking community team in Eve were like sending me shit to try and get me to play again. And I was like, I just cannot do it. It's rubbish. I hated it so much.
Oh dear.
And
It looks
Like,
pretty, but I've never gone
yeah,
into it.
it's not a spaceship game. It's not a spaceship
I
game.
know it's described as a spreadsheet simulator.
It's not even that. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy anything about it. And I mean, fair place to those of you who get shit out of Eve. It's great. But I would like it totally went against everything. And I was just so concerned that I would feel that same way about Elite because I have discovered my neurodivergent hyperfixation has discovered a new love of my life, and it's very, very difficult to disassociate from that when all I want to do is like be waxing lyrical about this love of my life. But Elite is that comfortable friend that I think you will always have.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Until such a time as Frontier go, fuck it. You're all gonna fuck the servers and all of that.
This is exactly why Offline Gate was such a big thing when it was first announced. And this is why people literally cancelled their Kickstarter subscriptions and so on when Frontier were like, you know what, we can't actually promise an offline mode.
Because they wanted to know that they could play it forever.
Well, they wanted to know that Frontier will not be able to stop them from playing. Yeah. And also, a lot of people, when Elite came out and they said it was going to have an offline mode, a lot of people got into the offline thing hoping that they'd be able to mod Elite Dangerous and be able to mod in your own spaceships or whatever. And of course, you cannot do that in an online game. So, Offline Gate really was it was a big thing when it first kicked out. And of course, I can see why. Frontier. That's not where Frontier wanted to go with Elite Dangerous. They wanted the whole live service game, etc., with the evolving universe.
Yeah.
And I totally and utterly understand how having an offline version could not work for that. But I also understand where people coming from in 20, 30 years' time, I still want to be able to play Elite Dangerous, even if Frontier have turned the servers off.
Maybe in 20, 30 years' time, a different game studio will come out with something that is almost exactly the same. And we're all going to be, well, you guys are all probably going to be dead and I'll be in my 60s. Me and Chris
she's not wrong there, is she?
Ben hasn't been here. Ben, I've been taking the piss of you all being old.
Yeah, and 30. Christ, I'm going to be approaching 80.
I should clarify that I've been taking the piss of you all being old, and me and Chris being
you
like
and Chris
the younger.
are 10 years younger.
Yeah. We and we will not let you forget that.
No, that's okay. I get the same shit at work as well.
Sorry, my apologies. my apologies for that, for not looping you in on that joke before saying that you'll probably be nearing death. Anyway, maybe in 20, 30 years' time, someone will go, hey, remember that space game that was really cool? Let's make another space game that was really cool.
Yeah, but, people still are actively playing Elite 84 and Frontier. Not many, but some.
For their sins.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But we also over the last week, this was also a question of the week on Twitter. If you don't know, beautiful gang and folks in chat, on Twitter and in our Discord every week, almost every week, and when Claire remembers, she puts we whack out a question of the week, and at this point in the show, we read out some of your answers and discuss them. So a question of the week was, why are you still playing Elite? So from Katiana, we had war, but like on foot, pew pew war. Katie literally only logs in to shoot shit at the moment. Which is fine.
Fair.
If that's what you enjoy doing.
You, Katie.
Well, she's my sister. I get it.
Elvis Kremen says, has to be the BGS for our faction. On foot pews is my jam. Indeed, BGS keeps a lot of people coming back, I think, doesn't it?
Kremen is an absolute tyrant on foot as well. He's ridiculous.
Oh my god!
I can attest to that.
He's the worst because he's got all of the worst stuff.
Yeah, he knows exactly where to shoot me, and it turns out it's in the face.
Turns out he just really likes shooting me in the face. I've known him for 15 years. I can't think why it would be the case. Do you want to take this next one, Chris?
Oh yeah, I can do. Someone that I don't know how to pronounce this one. Phoenix Defier.
I've never heard of him.
Never heard of him. With my alt, discovering unknown systems and knowing I'm the first person to see these stars, planets, occasionally plants, and with my main, I am a space hero saving humanity from the Fargoid menace.
He called himself a hero.
A hero, wearing his underpants on the outside of his flight suit and a little cape, running into the rescue. I can see that.
And take the next one.
So, Misery Cord is saying the continued work of Azimuth Biochemical and our late founder, Dr. Caleb Wycherley.
Biotech.
Yeah, then. What did I say?
Biochemical. Yeah. It's just a different faction, slightly different.
So, yeah. To which Commander Wotherspoon is replying, allegedly, late founder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy nuts.
I know nothing about his nuts, whether they're holy or otherwise.
That's what was in this update. Guardian mech suit saying Caleb Wycherley right there.
200 megs for the brain in the jar animated.
We all need a brain in a jar.
Incredible. Commander Homburger says that they have 3 accounts. Their main is exploring and on his way to Colonia. The second is an on-foot account, and the third has a fleet carrier with every ship in the game. I feel I have 3 separate games and can jump between playstyles whenever I like. That's pretty cool. That eliminates FOMO in the extreme.
Yeah, a lot to be said for that. I've only got my one character, but yeah, that's quite a persuasive argument for having alts.
I've got like 7 now. I've got that new one. Oh, Ben, I've got a new one. I've got a new account. My new account is specifically based on something that you said.
Okay.
So
that sounds worrying and probably a bad idea.
I know. It sounds filthy, doesn't it? No, because you were saying that you didn't think that you had the time to invest into getting a ship into like a Maelstrom. Or something along those lines. You didn't play enough to invest that. Yes. So I started a brand new account to see, like, I'm literally doing viewing Titan %. Just seeing how long, granted, I'm not doing the gold rush or anything along those lines, but I'm just seeing how long it can take a brand new account to go from 0 to seeing a Titan.
I like that idea.
And plus, you gave me an idea for content. So cheers, bud.
Anytime.
Zulu Romeo next, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, Zulu Romeo says, because it's there, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. To take advantage of profits and discoveries, to find and do something that will be written about for decades to come, to be as best as I can be in all things, to win stellar screenshots for once.
It just needs to boldly go at the end of that. We've done a title sequence. Yeah.
It definitely does.
That is excellent. Yeah, going off and exploring. Very similar to this one, actually. Hieronymus Drake. I've got a long way to go before I've even visited 0.001% of the systems in game. Is that a target that you've set? Would that not be quite difficult? Because how much we
as a community
discovered so far?
Yeah, I think that's quite a big target.
That is a lot to visit. I wish you well on your journey.
You might need to lower your sights by a few zeros.
So Silas Resi is saying the immersion and the views. I completely agree with them here. Like standing atop my ship on a slightly atmospheric planet during the daytime, looking across the scenery. That's Elite has always been so much screenshot simulator, isn't it?
Mhm.
And they've got a second reason here, which is the community. And they hadn't played for a year or two until last year's LaveCon, and then they love being in LaveCon so much, and then they just rejoined basically because of that. And of course, you've got to hunt down Raxler. It's one of these again forever goals that we'll probably never get because it's not even in game, even though they say it is.
There's a couple of answers in here. It will come up. There's a couple of answers in here that we will. This won't be the last time that we mention Raxler tonight. We have J.E. Franklin 18 who says, donning the VR goggles and being transported 1,000 years into my own ship, exploring the black. It's a feeling that no other game has come close to matching.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
How are you doing with the else class, by the way?
It's still in the books.
Oh, okay.
It's still in the books. I haven't. It's one of those things where if I'm when I have a moment, and it's probably going to be Christmas now, honestly, with everything that I've got planned. But when I have a moment, when I have a good moment of time to fully invest in getting that all set up and getting that done, I don't want to shortchange it or anything, or fuck up something along those lines. I want to make sure that it's good.
Yeah, and what about Baldur's Gate VR mode?
We won't get her back.
Let's
she would
not
live in the simulation.
No.
Yeah, I'm afraid we would have to feed her through a tube.
Let's not do this. Please, can we not do this? Please, can we not do this right now? Because it's going to hurt me in the best possible way. Oh no! I've gone bright red as soon as you said that. My face is as flushed as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Listen, we promised we wouldn't kink shame. Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! That is that's amazing. That's made my night.
Brilliant. Definitely going to need some haptic feedback for that way.
Oh god. Oh, especially some of the cutscenes.
For fuck's sake. That's when my mind went straight away, man.
Oh, just sharing a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, it's just a glass of wine for sure. That's all that is. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry my eyes out.
Right, next one. Loot and Grind. 07 to a marvellous content creator. Loot and Grind says, nothing beats the peaceful, relaxing experience of mining. That's what motivates me to log in daily, plus exploration.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's really good when you're just able to chill out and do something. I can find doing a bit of space trucking does that for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't need to do much. I'm just flying between a couple of stations trying to make some money, and it's just nice and chill. It's I like a lot of that. Commander Machine, the hope that something completely new and out of left field appears in game and blows the bloody doors off.
Holy shit. That's the reason my main doesn't leave the bubble.
Yeah. My fear of missing out at this point, yes.
Yeah. So Commander John Thomason is saying Orthoros hunting and doing BGS work for the faction that they belong to. As well as the occasional happy little accident of discovering some storyline in a random event. And I'll agree there, actually, when you just, some of the missions and it's just hold on, that's actually leading on to something, maybe.
I love...
Even if it's just in your own head.
I love... and I'm always going to want more, but I love finding some voice worked story or some... or just any bit of story that is in this game, we're gonna we just lap that shit up like it's no business.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In a way, it is a shame that I do tend to, the minute I hear about these things, anything with a voice log or anything on a planet it goes on the to-do list, and I go out and see it. But how amazing would it be to stumble across these things accidentally? I'm not sure I ever have. It's a big galaxy, I suppose, but I sort of almost regret, hunting down all the things rather than just randomly just randomly stumble on an INRA base or something would be mind-blowing.
What the missing INRA base of some kind? Can you imagine if there hadn't have been one found yet?
Yeah.
Or like the next another base where they'd been maybe there's more than one base out there where they were experimenting on people, like Caleb Wycherley's like big I will be their salvation shit thing. Like if there's maybe like 3 more bases out there that are fully exactly the same way, that would be funny. Ben,
you just raised actually a good point, because I agree with you that just stumbling onto these things makes it would make these things so much oh my god kind of moments.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, because Frontier really do telegraph a lot of these things with, why don't you go over and look here, nudge nudge, wink wink kind of stuff.
It's too big a galaxy to find these things randomly.
Yeah, I agree, but it's like I agree that you're right that it's too big a galaxy for things to be found randomly, blah blah blah. But how fucking cool would it be for these things to actually be found randomly?
Yeah, I had. It's not really the same thing, but I had a nice conversation with Arthur at ECM, talking about the Stargoids, and I loved how Frontier, as far as I know, said nothing about those. And I was sort of saying to Arthur, you surely you took a sort of gamble, because the entire, your entire next 2 years storyline sort of began with these Stargoids. And he was like, no, we knew you'd see them. We knew you'd see them immediately. There was no doubt in my mind for a second that the community would spot these things. They were just dots in the sky to start with, but I like that there's a level of trust there that Frontier know what we're capable of doing, and maybe know when the odds are stacked against us randomly stumbling across a thing on a planet somewhere.
They absolutely could put random stuff out there and then just hope that we see it, and then eventually send a nudge, maybe. I
think they probably have done that in the past, actually.
We know that's how Colonia got found originally.
Yeah.
It was just RNG. Personally, hold on, what's that doing here?
There's been occasionally there'll be a canon article, and not too long ago there was something found not super long ago, a little while back, but I don't know. If there's been anything new recently. Sorry, I completely. Yeah. Did you hear me blank out? Did you hear me?
I heard you forgetting how to speak. Yeah.
I was like,
just let you roll with it and see where it goes.
Roll with it. Like, it's all right. We can edit it in post. It's fine. Who's next?
I think it's you.
Is it? I thought Chris was next.
I did Commander Machine and then Ben. So next.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's Commander Killer Squirrel then.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Brilliant.
It certainly looks like that. Oh, yeah, I bet you're all glad it's me now, isn't it? The relaxation is deep space travel and exploration. My CPTSD and related mental health issues keeps me basically housebound. Elite lets me get out of the house. I bloody love that.
Yeah.
I love that it's that light and that light for them. I really, really love that. I think that's, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's the same. I mean, it's the same kind of ethos that's behind special effect, which is why I've always loved that charity as well. Because getting out of the house when you can't is amazing.
The escapism of video games is
underestimate the value of that.
For sure. When I was when my back was completely broken and it was the worst because I literally couldn't do anything. I don't know how I would necessarily have coped had we not been able to rig something up in the way that we did. And I will always be grateful for the fact that we managed to rig something up where I could vaguely get onto my computer without being able to stand up, and I could play Elite with a controller. Meant the world to me. So those kind of things, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back during COVID, I would just go in. I was playing Red Dead Redemption at the time, and I would just go into it and I'd just go fishing and just enjoy being outside when we couldn't go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And games are, they're just. It is therapeutic be able to do stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I tell you what, and we said it loads of times during the pandemic as well, so many times. Thank God for being able to get online and being able to speak to your friends online and have all of those human experiences just through digital means. What a gift that happened now, and it wasn't back along when those kind of things weren't accessible or possible.
Even 20 years ago. Yeah, even 20 years ago, we didn't have the connectivity we've got now.
Yeah, for sure.
Forced to sit in a house with your family and play chess, Jesus.
Absolutely
what a nightmare
not.
That would be.
For that many years? Holy shit.
For 2 years. Right,
oh my
let's move
God.
on. Astro Phoenix.
Yeah.
Mystery and intrigue. There's still a lot of mysteries with the Thargoids, Guardians, and even the one and only Raxler.
Raxler, never heard of it.
It should have been the drinking game for this. You should have Raxler. Commander Frosty Jack. Exploration and exobiology is what keeps them coming back to the game.
Amazing. Good for them. Not for me, but whatever floats your boat.
Dr. X. Take a drink. Raxler keeps me playing.
No, that wasn't the one tweet. There were multiple tweets in the thread from Dr. X, but I figure I'm just going to let Dr. X say what he says there. Raxler, I don't even know her. Nope. Absolutely not. Okay. Chebswell said a lot more than this, but I have truncated it somewhat.
This is truncated.
Yes. For me, it's lots of things. I really enjoy playing with the young'un. She likes the ground battles, and watching her bounce around the battlefield, dealing death from above is great. I like just milling around in the Andromeda, a slightly engineered general purpose Imperial cutter, and doing basically any mission, rescue, battle, etc. that takes my fancy. Helping our little squadron protect Fairy Dock. My daughter likes the name. Recently, I've gone back to a Sidewinder, quite a bit engineered, and again, milling around doing whatever. Exploration is still a great bit of fun. Take a week out to explore the galaxy and see stuff no one else ever has. This game still has loads to offer. The new Thargoid stuff is great. We've had close encounters with their skimmer units. I'm in the minority that thinks there is no grind. Just play the game and blaze your own way through the galaxy.
Bravo.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, completely agree.
Really beautiful. Not hugely edited, but he added a couple of PSs, and I haven't included them, but they're in Discord. And those threads, I believe, still just stay live. So check it out if you would like to. But yes, beautiful. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, it's nice. Sapphire says, I can fly spaceships and take pretty pictures at the same time, and Elite is perfect for 1 to 2 hour play sessions, no matter the preferred game mode. Yeah, interesting actually about length of play session. That's kind of what I get basically a 1 to 2 hour play session. It was. This reminds me of what Ben was saying earlier about Star Citizen, and I found it interesting that Ben was saying that Elite is a good game for that, because I think I have seen it criticised that it's not a good game for that compared to other games that you can literally sit down and play for 15 minutes. I don't think you can do much in Elite in 15 minutes, frankly. But
you can't do much for 15 minutes, but you can in half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and unlike this,
Nomansky,
it
I
is
guess you could do
perfect
something in 15
for a 1 to 2 hour play session, which I bet isn't uncommon. It is perfect for.
It's good that you're able to sort of drop in and do a little bit and then carry on. So it's that kind of works. Got MK Vimes. Most of my gameplay is BGS based, which can be competitive and take me into areas of gameplay that I might have otherwise passed over. But the beauty of the game for me is that you can decide to have a break for a while, do something else. I just love the flexibility of the game.
Amazing. I feel that entirely, especially after what I was talking about today, like what happened today. I feel that absolutely entirely. What a beautiful one to end on, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to just coming back to it and it being so comfortable and just so lovely and such a wonderful experience. Very cool. Very cool.
Good.
Sam,
we shall keep playing then.
We shall keep. Well, yeah, I think you've convinced all of us. I think we will keep playing. I think we'll move on to our any other business. Alan Stroud released Temperance, a single from his new stuff, I believe. She's
Correct.
Gonna say.
It's the one that we had the exclusive first radio play of a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes, it's from the Fractal series. Is Temperance, and Temperance is now released. There is a link to it in the show notes if you would like to listen. Check that out.
Don't rip it off from last week's show. Go and get it from its proper source.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. We also have Homeworld Deserts of Karak. It's free on the Epic Store. This looks quite cool.
Homeworld's going to be very good.
Yeah. That's quite cool. Free on the Epic Store at the moment. You gotta love a freebie. Like, nab it. You don't have to download it. Just nab it and then maybe play it at some other point.
One day I'm actually going to install the Epic Launcher and I'm going to have such a massive library of games to play.
Yes.
Are you just getting it through through logging into it in Chrome or something?
I think so. Yeah, you just go and buy it on the online store.
Yeah.
Well, I say buy it. Buy it for £0.
Buy for free.
Cool. Awesome. Anyone else got any other business or anything to share for today? Nope. Don't forget Buckyball's still on.
Till Sunday.
Buckyball's still on until Sunday. Give it a go. It's a really nice entry level one.
Actually, having said you can't do anything in this game in 15 to 20 minutes, you can do a Buckyball run in exactly 20 minutes.
Well, just over 20 minutes.
Okay.
Just over.
22 at the outside.
22 at a push. 25 if you want to get yourself set up and get ready to go get yourself a drink before you start. Yeah, about 25 minutes, you got it. In which case, then we shall move on to our shout-outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Trackers or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We are also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts who exist and are amazing. We have the Guard Frequency and we also have Loose Screws. Do we have a Galnet News Digest?
Yes, I did. See that somewhere?
Pete did say in the tech channel.
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. Yay. Excellent. Fantastic. Following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Thank you so much to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat, and thank you to our raiders. We've had some beautiful raids tonight as well. We had Katie Chaos before the stream. We had Pixie Wifey as well. during the stream. If I missed anyone, my apologies, but thank you very much for raiding. And those of you that stuck about, hey, this is Lave Radio, give us a follow. We stream every Tuesday. Yeah, thanks to those people who have chipped in. Who have you to in game? If you've run into anyone, because I know you guys have been busy.
Yeah, so there was Valeric before we departed the bar to go to Sirius.
Yeah, and Miggles and I are currently touching wingtips.
No kink shaming here.
No kink shaming. But
unless you're into that. Unless that is your kink.
Unless that is your kink, in which case that is fine.
In which case, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm in some kind of weird dichotomy.
Put it this way, Miggles hasn't pulled away.
Easy. So special thanks to Commander Takoso, Jan Trax, and Alan Strout, who created the music used on the show. And that's it for That's a very good question. Have you got did you get a Sirius permit?
No, I've not got a goddamn Sirius permit. Stop asking me.
God damn it! I'm so sorry.
I have come in and out several times, and I haven't booped once. So
amazing.
Yeah, I might have to tell Sally that.
Well, I'm glad that that's fixed. Good for
so
you.
Sour. So it's
into the station on the way in.
I'm so happy you can drink coffee as you land and you take off. Very nice.
Honestly, though, Chris, let's face it, we've got at least another 10 years where we can get that. Anyway, on that bombshell, that is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, then you can find contact links in the home Contact Us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. That includes community events. Please let us know stuff you've got going on, or if you've made shit that we can promote or shout out about. We love that sort of stuff, so please do. And yeah, if you've got any questions or anything that you want us to maybe use as the question of the week, that would be great too. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Commander Alec Turner.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Mark 4.
You're welcome.
Wait. And thank you very much and welcome back, Ben.
Thank you, Sai.
Yee. And special thanks to today's tech specialist, Commander Ventura.
You're welcome.
Amazing. Until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into them. You need a safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 29th of August 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we bring you the latest on the Thargoid invasion. We reveal why cutter pilots seem to fly so badly. And we listen to the distant whoosh of the galaxy.
The invading Thargoids have a couple of new tricks up their sleeves, only one of which was mentioned by Jade Sanderlin in her monthly war update. But the betentacled barnacle gardeners continue to be driven back from once inhabited systems. The Vox Galactica article mentioned the Scythe Hunter-class Thargoids, which use hull breach weaponry and recovery drones to collect and abduct living humans. These scythes gobbled up those on the Dedicant megaship, and they've been busy gobbling up any other passengers or occupied escape pods they can find.
Lave Radio. Lave Radio. Fly safe and enjoy the show.
Or perhaps they realise we'll be along with another load of escape pods in a few minutes. The article didn't mention the recently discovered barnacle matrices, which make Thargoid-controlled systems immune from human attempts to take them back. These strange sites, 45 in number, are yet to be acknowledged by Aegis, by Azimuth, or by the Holloway Biosciences Institute. The Holloway Institute has, however, taken an interest in the discovery of a second system containing both Guardian ruins and crashed Thargoid ships. The Rigo BU-Y B2-0 system is alleged to be the centre of operation of some unusually benign Thargoids, although actually finding any of these docile and apparently immensely shy aliens has not been easy. The Holloway Institute, which studies all forms of exobiology, had an unfortunate experience in October 3307 when one of its field stations was overrun by subterranean alien arachnids. Now it is planning an expedition to this ancient battleground. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. Aegis continues to research the Thargoid Titans, the 8 motherships or hive ships that seem to be the centre of the Thargoid invasion. With Aegis's help, a number of commanders have been able to retrieve samples of the Titans. But there is no word from either Aegis or its rival Azimuth about progress in developing technology to encourage the Titans to leave. Until the Titans leave, the war to repel the Thargoid invasion cannot come to an end.
Limpets may be getting smarter, but owners of self-driving Imperial cutters are less than impressed by the way their ships appear to be attracted to solid objects, and to be allergic to the spaces between them. The incremental improvement to collector limpets means that they'll no longer headbutt the scenery, and the Manticore Corporation claims they may now be safely used to recover items lying on a planetary surface. Limpets have long been plagued with the sort of software that makes them orbit megaships maniacally, or get stuck in escape hatches. While manually scooping cargo and materials from a planetary surface has been possible since at least 3302, getting a limpet to do the work is a huge step forward in automation. However, getting ships to safely take off and land from space stations has been less successful. Cutters and other large ships love taking off from one side of the docking bay and promptly headbutting the other. And getting through the toast rack while avoiding other ships is beyond the capabilities of even the most sophisticated onboard computer. The idea of the Imperial cutter's self-drive function is that you can simply indicate right and your cutter will instantly boost sideways into anything hard it can find. Its parallel park utility will smash its way through dozens of part sidewinders before coming to rest on its side just off the edge of the landing pad. Gutamaya's explanation that they're just trying to replicate the care and consideration shown by cutter pilots in automated form has not gone down particularly well. The latest attempt to patch out the problems has unfortunately not been successful, with another 47 cutter pilots reportedly killed after its deployment earlier today. Gutamaya continues to work on a fix.
Commander Serbenstein has identified the source of the background noise that commanders will be familiar with. This so-called landscape signal is what you hear when you point your ship at the Milky Way. It's coming from an interstellar location around 20 light-years from Sagittarius A star, making it impossible to visit by any means currently available. The sound forms a repeating audible pattern around 110 seconds long, and from its harmonies it is clearly the product of an intelligent mind. Leaving aside the implausible explanation that it may be the sound of the background radiation left over from the Big Bang that just happens to sound like a synthesizer, some have speculated that it may indicate the location of the mystical Raxxla, which in lore is the gateway to another galaxy. Others devoutly believe that it marks the location of the celestial hideaway of famous galactic musician Jim Croft and his legendary Great Gig in the Sky.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Lave Radio. Fly safe and enjoy the show. Lave Radio.